Have you ever had one of those moments where your emotions just feel like a runaway train, totally out of control?
Oh, absolutely. Or, maybe a simple conversation just suddenly tanks, goes completely sideways into misunderstanding.
Exactly. That frustration, that feeling of, I wish I could connect better, or just, handle life's ups and downs with a bit more grace.
hmm hmm
If you felt that, you felt the need for something deeper. What if there's a skill, not just about being nice, but something that could genuinely change how you feel, how you interact, how you live?
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. This deep dive is all about emotional intelligence, or EQ.
Right, EQ.
And let's just clear something up right away. A lot of people think EQ means, I don't know, squashing your feelings, ignoring them.
Yeah, like being robotic.
But it's really the opposite. It's about leaning into your emotions, understanding them, and then using that understanding skillfully. It's a vital skill set for pretty much everything: personal growth, success at work. It touches every part of your life.
Okay, so our mission today is to really unpack what emotional intelligence actually is. Why is it so important for understanding yourself and, everyone else? And maybe most importantly, how can you actively develop it to build those stronger relationships and live a more, fulfilling life? Let's get into it.
So at its heart, emotional intelligence is your ability to first recognize and manage your own emotions.
Okay.
And then, just as crucial, to understand and positively influence the feelings of others.
So it's inward and outward focused.
Precisely. The psychologist Daniel Goleman really brought this concept into the mainstream, and it's just fundamental to how you connect with people, how you navigate social situations, make decisions, everything, really.
And what I find really interesting, maybe even a bit freeing, is that EQ isn't this fixed thing you're born with. It's not like eye color.
No, not at all. It's not inherent. It's a skill set, like learning an instrument or a language.
Okay.
You can develop it, you can strengthen it, but it takes intentional practice. Think of it like a muscle you need to work out.
That makes sense. A skill, not a trait.
Exactly. And Goleman's model gives us a really helpful way to break it down. He talks about 4 pillars, all interconnected. The first one, which is really the foundation for everything else, is self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Okay, so if EQ is like my internal GPS,
Right.
self-awareness is knowing my own location on the map.
That's a great analogy. Yeah. It's recognizing your emotions as they happen in real time and understanding how they actually affect your thoughts, your behavior.
So knowing what sets me off, basically, my triggers.
Knowing your triggers, yes, and understanding their impact. It's also about having a pretty clear view of your strengths and weaknesses, which interestingly tends to build a sort of quiet self-confidence. John Mayer, who is one of the early researchers in this area, put it quite simply. He said it's being aware of both your mood and your thoughts about mood.
Aware of the mood and my thoughts about the mood.
Right. That basic grasp of how you feel and critically why. But it's not passive. It's an active process. You sense an emotion.
Like a knot in your stomach.
Exactly. You sense it. You acknowledge it. Okay, I'm feeling anxious. You identify the facts around it. Then you accept the feeling without judging yourself for it.
That acceptance part feels key. Not beating yourself up for feeling bad.
It's huge. Then you reflect. What's this feeling trying to tell me? What can I learn here? Only then do you decide on an action. And finally, you look back. Was that response helpful? It's a constant learning loop.
And it's not just happening inside me, right? You mentioned Goleman. Didn't he talk about how emotions can be, contagious?
He did, and it's fascinating. We have this innate tendency as humans to mimic facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, often unconsciously.
So my bad mood could literally bring someone else down.
It absolutely can. Your emotions can sort of ripple out. It's like an emotional feedback loop between people.
Wow. Okay. Which I guess leads perfectly into the second pillar.
Self-management, yeah. Or sometimes called self-regulation.
Right. So if self-awareness is knowing what I'm feeling, self-management is actually doing something about it, taking the wheel.
Exactly. It's the ability to control those impulsive feelings, those knee-jerk reactions. It's managing your emotions in healthy, productive ways. It's also about taking initiative, following through, adapting when things change. Basically managing your actions, thoughts, and feelings to get the results you want.
But that sounds hard. Especially when emotions feel overwhelming, like they just, swamp the brain, as Goleman puts it.
It is hard. That's the amygdala hijack he talks about. Your amygdala, the brain's sort of emotional alarm system, just takes over. It overpowers your rational thinking, making it almost impossible to focus on anything but the distress, the anger, the fear.
We've all been there. Maybe in a meeting, someone takes credit for your idea.
Perfect example. That surge of unfairness hits, that's the hijack, and suddenly you're so consumed by it, you completely miss the next 10 minutes of crucial discussion.
Right, you're just replaying the injustice in your head.
Exactly. So the goal of self-management is to recognize that hijack happening, catch it, and consciously bring your thinking brain back online before you react impulsively. Mastering this makes a huge difference to your well-being, your confidence, your relationships.
Okay, so get a handle on my own stuff first. Self-awareness, self-management. Then it's about looking outward.
That's the natural progression. Pillar number 3, social awareness.
Go ahead.
This is where your EQ really expands beyond just you. It's the ability to accurately pick up on the emotions, the needs, the concerns of other people.
Reading the room, basically.
Reading the room, reading individuals, picking up on those subtle emotional cues, feeling comfortable in social situations, even recognizing sort of the unspoken power dynamics.
How do we even do that?
Yeah.
Is it just intuition?
Well, partly, but our brains are actually wired for it. There's a specific brain circuit linked to the amygdala again that's constantly processing facial expressions, tone of voice, body language.
All those nonverbal signals.
Exactly,
Right.
all guiding how we interact. And this ability lets you genuinely take someone else's perspective. That's empathy.
And empathy is different from sympathy, right?
Yeah.
I always get those slightly mixed up.
Yeah, it's a common confusion. Sympathy is more feeling for someone feeling pity or sorrow. Empathy is deeper. It's cognitive and emotional. It's feeling with someone, understanding their experience from their point of view. It's what really connects people.
And helps avoid those massive misunderstandings.
Absolutely. Careful, empathetic listening is probably the best tool for that. It's like you have this internal narrator constantly giving you feedback.
Like, uh-oh, she looks annoyed by that comment.
Or he seems tired, maybe I'm rambling, or okay, she liked hearing that, that landed well.
Right. That constant stream of social data.
Exactly. And it informs everything you say and do next. It lets you adapt on the fly.
Which brings us to the grand finale, Pillar 4.
Relationship management. This is where it all comes together.
Yeah.
Self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, they all feed into this. It's knowing how to build and maintain good relationships, how to communicate clearly, persuasively, how to inspire others, work well in a team, handle conflict constructively.
It sounds like leadership skills almost.
It definitely overlaps. You could call it friendliness with a purpose, but crucially, that purpose isn't manipulation. It's about genuinely working towards the best outcome for everyone involved.
That's an important distinction.
Yeah.
Authenticity matters.
Hugely. And think about conflict. Here's a striking statistic. Only about 10% of conflict stems from actual differences in opinion.
Only 10%. What's the other 90%?
Delivery, tone of voice, how things are said.
Wow, okay.
So someone strong in relationship management can often sense conflict brewing and steer the interaction positively. They're good at fostering teamwork, collaboration. They understand that teams, like individuals, can have collective emotions.
Okay, so those are the 4 pillars. Let's talk impact. Why does developing this EQ stuff really matter in everyday life? You mentioned relationships.
Yes. First and foremost, healthier relationships. EQ fundamentally shapes the depth and quality of your connections, both personal and professional.
So,
Well, it allows you to express your own feelings more thoughtfully, more clearly, and it helps you adjust your communication based on how the other person seems to be feeling.
so you're not just talking at them, you're connecting with them.
Precisely. Understanding and managing emotions just leads to more effective communication, stronger bonds. Think about a couple, maybe. Instead of one person shutting down or making accusations when they feel jealous, someone with high EQ might say, okay, I'm feeling insecure right now. Can we talk about it?
Vulnerability and empathy instead of attack and defense.
Exactly. Navigating those tricky situations with honesty about feelings.
Beyond relationships, what about like our own internal state, mental health?
Huge impact there, too. Improved mental health and well-being. EQ acts almost like a buffer against things like depression, anxiety, stress.
How does that work?
Well, research consistently links higher EQ with greater life satisfaction, better overall mental health. It improves how you function socially, leading to more positive interactions, feeling accepted, and crucially, experiencing less rejection.
Less rejection. That feels significant.
It's incredibly significant. There was a big study over 2,000 college students that found EQ was linked to belonging. But here's the kicker. The experience of rejection was a stronger predictor of mental health problems, depression, anxiety, stress, than feeling included was.
Wow. So avoiding rejection is almost more important than seeking inclusion for mental health.
In terms of predicting problems, yes, according to that study. Students with lower EQ tended to experience more rejection, and that hit their well-being hard. It really highlights how important it is to reduce those feelings of rejection, both for ourselves and how we treat others. Uncontrolled emotions, high stress, struggling to connect that can lead to anxiety, depression, loneliness.
Okay, so better relationships, better mental health. What about work? Does EQ matter in the professional world?
Massively. Success in work and leadership, it's often valued more than technical skills.
More than technical skills.
Yeah, something like 71% of employers say they value EQ over IQ or technical ability. Think about it. Coaching teams, managing stress under deadlines, giving difficult feedback effectively, collaborating, that's all EQ.
Right, the soft skills that aren't actually soft at all.
Exactly. Leaders with high EQ can articulate their vision clearly, persuasively, without being aggressive or passive. They build trust.
And that trust boosts productivity.
Definitely. Better cooperation, better problem solving.
Right.
And it also cuts down on things like employee turnover and workplace conflict. One estimate suggests every unresolved conflict costs about 8 hours in gossip. Lost productivity.
8 hours per conflict. Ouch.
Yeah. So good relationship management, good conflict resolution stemming from EQ saves time, boosts morale, makes everything work better.
Okay, this is all incredibly compelling.
Yeah.
EQ matters a lot. So the big question, how do we actually get better at it? What are the practical things you can do? Like today, let's start with managing our own reactions, emotional regulation.
Right. The absolute first step, the foundation for regulation, is to create space.
Space.
Yeah. That tiny gap between the trigger, the thing that sets you off, and your reaction. Emotions hit fast. You don't decide to get angry, you just are angry.
Sure.
So the skill is to deliberately pause, just for a second.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Slow that moment down. That pause is where your power lies. It stops the automatic, often unhelpful reaction.
Okay, pause. Then what?
Then noticing and naming. Get curious about your body. What are the physical signs? Is your stomach tight? Heart racing? Neck tense?
What are those physical clues?
They're invaluable. Then put a specific name on the feeling. Not just I feel bad, but this is anger, or this is disappointment, this is fear. And then ask why. Why this feeling right now? This builds your emotional vocabulary and helps you manage it.
Naming it gives you some distance, maybe.
It does. And then comes accepting the emotion. This is crucial. Emotions are normal human responses, even the unpleasant ones. Don't judge yourself for feeling sad or scared or angry. Practice self-compassion. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling.
That feels like a big hurdle for a lot of people. We're taught to push feelings away.
We often are. Which is why practices like mindfulness can be so transformative.
Mindfulness, like meditation.
It can involve meditation, yes, but fundamentally it's about purposefully paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It calms the nervous system, improves focus, and boosts that self-awareness we talked about. It helps you stay grounded even when things feel emotionally painful.
Okay. Pause, notice, name, accept, maybe use mindfulness. What else for regulation?
The final piece is acting on your values. This is what's sometimes called emotional agility.
Emotional agility, I like that.
It means you accept the emotion, you don't fight it, but then you choose a response that aligns with your core values.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say your boss gives you feedback you feel is unfair. Your immediate impulse might be anger, maybe wanting to lash out.
Right.
Emotional agility means you acknowledge the anger. Okay, I'm feeling angry and defensive. But then you pause, remember that professionalism or respectful communication is a core value for you, and you choose to respond calmly and constructively in line with that value instead of just reacting. It's a conscious choice.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about intentional response, not just reaction. What about the outward-facing skills? Empathy, communication.
Absolutely key. And maybe the most foundational skill here is active listening.
We hear that term a lot, but what does it really mean?
It means truly listening to understand, not just waiting for your turn to talk, no interrupting, really focusing, and then maybe reflecting back what you heard. So if I understand correctly, you're saying it shows you've genuinely taken it in.
It makes the other person feel heard.
Which is huge for connection. And closely related is paying attention to nonverbal communication, not just reading others' body language, but being aware of your own. What are your posture, your gestures, your facial expressions saying? Often that speaks louder than words.
That's true. We communicate so much without speaking.
And a really safe way to practice all of this is through role-playing scenarios.
Like acting things out.
Yeah. simulate difficult conversations, practice different emotional responses, try out communication strategies in a low-stakes setting. It builds confidence and muscle memory for when the real situation happens.
Good idea. Okay, final area, managing stress and what happens when we get really dysregulated, totally overwhelmed.
Right. First, build stress management techniques into your daily life. These aren't luxuries. They're necessities for emotional balance. Mindfulness meditation, deep breathing, yoga, even just short walks in nature. Find what works for you and do it regularly.
Proactive stress management.
Exactly. And also get really honest and curious to identify and reduce your triggers. What situations, people, or thoughts consistently set off strong negative emotions? And why do they have such power over you? Understanding the why is key.
Digging into the roots of the reaction.
Yes. And learn to challenge your narrative. Before you jump to conclusions about why someone did something, they ignored me on purpose, pause. Ask yourself, what are other possible explanations? Maybe they were distracted. Maybe they didn't see you.
Assuming positive intent, or at least neutral intent.
Or just acknowledging you don't know their intent. The just like me technique can help here too, reminding yourself that others are complex humans with their own struggles, just like you.
That fosters compassion. What about how we talk to ourselves?
Huge. Practice positive self-talk. Catch that negative inner critic and consciously replace it with more empathetic, encouraging statements. Things like, I'm doing the best I can right now, or, okay, that was tough, but I can handle it.
Be kinder to yourself internally.
Absolutely. And always remember, you make a choice about how to respond. If flying off the handle always leads to regret, recognize that was a choice, albeit maybe an automatic one. You can choose to try expressing anger calmly next time. Pause. Choose differently.
Don't forget the good stuff, right?
Definitely not. Actively look for positive emotions. Our brains tend to focus on threats and negativity. It's a survival mechanism. So you have to consciously notice and savor moments of contentment, interest, joy, gratitude. It builds resilience.
Okay, one last thing here. You mentioned dysregulation. What exactly is that, and what if someone feels like they struggle with it consistently?
Emotional dysregulation is basically a persistent difficulty managing intense emotions. It can lead to really dramatic mood swings, impulsive behaviors, maybe self-destructive actions, and it really impacts relationships.
Sounds serious.
It can be. If that pattern feels familiar, therapies like dialectical behavioral therapy, or DBT, can be incredibly helpful. It's a type of cognitive behavioral therapy focused on identifying negative thought patterns and building skills to cope with intense emotions. A key part is learning distress tolerance.
Distress tolerance.
Yeah, the ability to sit with really uncomfortable feelings without resorting to harmful coping mechanisms. It's about building a toolkit to navigate emotional storms more safely.
Okay. That's a lot of practical stuff people can try.
It is. It's a journey, not a quick fix.
Right. So just to recap, we've explored how emotional intelligence broken down into self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management isn't just a nice to have. It's really foundational for a richer, more connected life.
Absolutely. From managing your own internal world to building deep connections and succeeding professionally, EQ is this sort of silent, powerful force underneath it all.
And the key lesson, I think, is that this is about continuous growth, right? It's not like you just achieve EQ and you're done.
Not at all. Every feeling, every interaction is a chance to learn, to adapt, to respond with a bit more awareness, a bit more intention. And what's really powerful is how understanding and regulating yourself directly boosts your ability to be sensitive and empathetic towards others.
Which builds stronger bonds.
And reduces that painful feeling of rejection for everyone involved.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. If you could truly get better at understanding emotions, not just your own, but how you perceive and connect with everyone else, what would that really make possible? In your relationships, in your work, in your life? What's just one small step, one small practice you could try today to move in that direction?
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of emotional intelligence.
Keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep growing.